all week about your sermon last Sunday. It's really wonderful, Dr. Harper. In only 2 short years, you've taken on the spirit of Brooklyn.
That's very gratifying, Miss Brewster.
You see, living here next to the church all our lives, we've seen so many ministers come and go. The spirit of Brooklyn, we always say, is friendliness. And your sermons are not so much sermons as friendly talks.
Personally, I've always enjoyed my talks with Cardinal Gibbons. Or have I met him yet?
Oh, no, dear, not yet. Are the biscuits good?
Bully!
Oh, won't you have another biscuit, Dr. Harper?
No, thank you. I have no appetite for dinner now. I always eat too many of your biscuits just to taste that lovely jam.
But you haven't tried the quince. We always put a little apple in with it to take the tartness out.
No, thank you.
We'll send you over a jar.
Oh, no, you keep it here, so I'll be sure of having your biscuits with it.
Well, I do hope they don't make us use that imitation flour again. I mean, with this war trouble. It may not be very charitable of me, but I've almost come to the conclusion that this Mr. Hitler isn't a Christian.
Only Europe on another planet.
You're absurd!
Yes, Teddy.
Point your gun the other way!
Gun.
Teddy.
To the west! There's your danger! There's your enemy! Japan!
Why, yes, of course.
Teddy.
No, Aunt Abby, not so much talk about Europe and more about the canal!
Oh, well, let's not talk about the war. But we'll have another cup of tea here.
No, thank you, Aunt Abby.
Dr. Harper.
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Abby. The more violence seem far removed from these surroundings.
Oh, it is peaceful here, isn't it?
Yes, peaceful. The virtues of another day. They're all here in this house. The good virtues that went out with candlelight, good manners, and low taxes.
Well, it's one of the oldest houses in Brooklyn. It was just as it was when Grandfather Brewster built and furnished it. Except for the electricity, we use it as little as possible. But it was Mortimer persuaded us to put it in.
Yes, I can understand that. Your nephew Mortimer seems to live only by electric light.
The poor boy has to work so late. I understand he's taking the ladies into the theater again tonight. Oh, Teddy, your brother Mortimer will be here a little later.
Delight!
We're so happy it's a lady Mortimer takes to the theater with it.
Well, it's a new experience for me to wait up until 3 o'clock in the morning just to wait for my daughter to be brought home.
Oh, Dr. Harper, I hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer.
Well...
We'd feel so guilty if you did, Sister Martha and I. But I mean, since it was here in our home that your daughter met Mortimer.
Of course, Miss Abby, and so I'll say immediately that I believe your nephew Mortimer himself to be quite a worthy gentleman. But I also must admit, Miss Abby, that I've been watching the growing intimacy between him and my daughter with some trepidation. And for one reason, Miss Abby.
Oh, do you mean his stomach, Dr. Harper?
His stomach?
Oh, his dyspepsia. He's bothered with it so, the poor boy.
No, Miss Abby, I'm speaking of your nephew's unfortunate connection with the theater.
The theater? Oh, no, Dr. Harper. Mortimer writes for a New York newspaper.
I know, Miss Abby, I know, but a dramatic critic is constantly exposed in the theater, and I don't doubt what some of them do develop an interest in it.
Well, not Mortimer. You need have no fear of that. Why, Mortimer hates the theater.
Really?
Oh, yes, he writes awful things about the theater. But you can't blame him, the poor boy. He was so happy writing about real estate, which he really knew something about. And then we just made him take this terrible night position.
My.
But as he says, the theater can't last much longer anyway, and in the meantime, it's a living. Yes, I think if we give the theater another year or two, perhaps. Oh, well, now, what do you suppose that is? Oh, nobody, you Teddy, I'll go. Oh, come in, Mr. Brody.
Hello, Miss Brewster.
How are you, Mr. Clyde?
Very well, Miss Brewster.
What news have you brought me? Colonel, we have nothing to report. Splendid! Thank you, gentlemen. Daddy.
You know Dr. Harper.
Sure, hello, Dr. Harper.
We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
That's splendid work you men do, fixing up all this gutter toys to give those poor children a happier Christmas.
Well, it gives us something to do while we're sitting around the station. You get tired of playing cards and you start cleaning your gun. The next thing you know, you shot yourself in the foot.
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box from your Aunt Martha's room. But how is Mrs. Brophy today? Oh, Mrs. Brophy's been quite busy.
Pneumonia.
I'm sorry to hear that.
George! Well, she's better now. A little weak still.
Well, I'm going to get you some beef broth to take to her.
Don't bother, Miss Abby. You've done so much for her already.
We made it this morning. Sister Mama is taking some to poor Mr. Benitsky right now. Oh, it won't be a minute. Sit down and be comfortable, all of you.
She shouldn't go to all that trouble.
Listen, you try to stop one of the sister from doing something nice, and it's all gonna, they don't even care how you for.
When I received my call to Brooklyn and moved next door, my wife wasn't well, and when she died, and for months before, I found out what pure kindness and absolute generosity are because of all the Brewster sisters.
Colonel! You promised you wouldn't do that anymore. But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies. He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
Oh, he's quite conscious.
Suppose he does think he's Teddy Roosevelt. There's a lot worse people you think he was.
Damn shame. Next family like this? That's the cuckoo.
Well, his father, the old girl's brother, was some sort of a genius, wasn't he? Their father, his grandfather, seems to me I heard he was a little crazy too.
Yeah, he was crazy like a fox. He made $1 million.
You were in Brooklyn?
Yeah, had medicine. He was kind of a quack of some sort. Old Sergeant Edwards remembers him. He used the house here as sort of a clinic. Tried him out on people.
And he used to make mistakes occasionally too.
The department never bothered him much because he was pretty useful on autopsies sometimes, especially poison cases.
Well, whatever he did, he left the old girl's fixed wife, thank God for that.
Not that they ever spend any of it on themselves.
Yes, well, I'm well acquainted with their charities.
You don't know the depth of it. When I was with the missing persons department, there was an old man I was trying to trace that we never did find. Did you know that the renting agency that has his house on its list for furnished rooms? They don't rent rooms here. But you can bet that anybody that comes here looking for a room to rent probably goes away with a good meal and a few dollars when they get through.
It's just their way of digging up people to do some good to.
Well, now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Brophy? Dr. Harper, Mr. Klein.
How are you, Miss Brewster? We stopped by to get the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes, Teddy's Army and Navy. They wear out, they're all packed.
The colonel's upstairs after him. It seems the cabinet has to okay it.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, I hope Mrs. Brophy is better.
She's doing fine, ma'am. Your sister's getting some soup for me to take to her.
Oh, yes, we just made it this morning. I just took some to a poor man who broke ever so many bones. Oh, you're back, Martha. How is Mr. Benitsky? Well, dear, it's pretty serious, I'm afraid. The doctor was there. He's going to amputate in the morning. Can we be present? No, I can't. But he said it was against the rules of the hospital.
You couldn't be of interference, and you must spare yourself something.
Well, here's the broth, Mr. Brophy. Sure is good and hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is just fine. This will make a lot of kids happy. That old valley boy, he's just nuts about soldiers.
That's General Miles. I retired him. What's this? The Oregon!
Teddy, dear, put it back.
But he already goes to Australia!
Teddy!
No, I've given my word to fighting Bob Evans!
But Teddy!
What difference does it make what kid gets it? Bobby Evans, is he going? Well, we'll be running along now, ma'am, and thank you very much for the toys.
Not at all. Goodbye.
I'd better be running along now.
Oh, before you go...
George! George, the lookout!
The blackout?
Oh, the stairs are always the San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no. He's so happy being Teddy Roosevelt. Once a long time ago, remember, Martha? Oh, we thought if he would be George Washington, it might be a change for him. But he stayed under his bed for days and just wouldn't be anybody. And he'd so much rather he be Mr. Roosevelt than nobody.
Well, if he's happy, and most important, you're happy, you'll be sure that he signs these.
What are they? Dr. Harper has made the arrangements for Teddy to go to Happy Dale Sanitarium after we pass on. But why should Teddy sign any papers now?
It's better to have it all settled. If the Lord should take you away suddenly, perhaps we could persuade Teddy to commit himself. That would mean unpleasant legal procedure. Mr. Witherspoon understands that to be filed away until the time comes to use them.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, who's he?
He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Dr. Hopper has arranged for him to drop in tomorrow or the next day to meet Teddy.
I'd better be running along, or Elaine will be here looking for me.
Give our love to Elaine. Oh, and Dr. Hopper, please don't think harshly of Mortimer because he's a dramatic critic. Well, somebody has to do those things. Did you just have tea, dear? Isn't it rather late? Oh, yes, and dinner's going to be late, too. So, why? Oh, Teddy, good news for you. You're going to Panama and make another knock for the canal.
Being late! That's bullying, just bullying! I shall prepare at once for the journey. Sure!
Abby, while I was out. Yes, dear, I just couldn't wait for you. I didn't know when you'd be back, and Dr. Harper was coming. Oh, but all by yourself? Oh, I got a lot of fun. Well, I'll just run right downstairs and see. Oh, no, there wasn't time, and I was all alone. Well, Martha, just look in the window, see? Oh. Oh, it's Elaine! Come in, dear.
Good afternoon, Miss Abby. Good afternoon, Miss Martha. Well, I thought Father was here.
Oh, he just this minute left, dear. Didn't you meet him?
No, I took the shortcut through the cemetery.
Oh.
Mortimer hasn't come yet.
Oh, no, dear.
He asked me to meet him here. Do you mind if I wait?
Oh, not at all. Why don't you sit down, dear? But we really must speak to Mortimer about doing this to you.
Doing what?
Well, he was brought up to know better. When a gentleman is taking a young lady out, he should call for her at her house.
Oh, well, there's something about calling for a girl at a parsonage that discourages any man who doesn't embroider.
But he's done this too often, and we are going to speak to him.
Oh, please don't. After young Minnie's idea of nightlife was to take me to a prayer meeting. It's wonderful to go to the theater almost every night of my life.
Oh, and it's comforting for us too, dear, because if Mortimer has to see some of those plays he has to see, well, at least he's sitting next to a minister's daughter. Oh, my goodness, Elaine, what you must think of us, not having tea cleared away by this time. Now, don't you bother with anything in the kitchen until Mortimer comes in, and I'll help you. Mortimer should be here any minute now.
Yes, well, Father must have been surprised not to find me at home. I'd better go over and say goodnight to him.
Oh, it's a shame you missed him, dear.
If Mortimer comes, you tell him I'll be right back. Come on, Mort.
Oh, hello, Elaine. Hello, Aunt Martha.
Oh, Abby, Mortimer's here.
You weren't going somewhere, were you?
I was just going over to tell Father not to wait up for me.
Oh, I didn't know that was still being done, even in Brooklyn.
Hello, Mortimer.
Hello, Aunt Abby.
Well, how are you, dear?
Oh, I'm fine, and you look well. You haven't changed much since yesterday.
Oh, my goodness, it was yesterday, wasn't it? We're seeing a great deal of you lately. Oh, well, come, sit down, sit down. Abby, haven't we something to do in the kitchen? You know the tea things. Oh, yes, the tea things. Well, you two just make yourselves at home. Just make yourselves at home.
Well, can't you take a hint?
No, that was fairly obvious. A lack of inventiveness, I should say.
Yes, that's exactly what you'd say.
Where would you like to go for dinner?
Oh, I don't care. I'm not very hungry.
Well, I just had breakfast. Suppose we wait until after the show.
But that'll make it pretty late for it.
Oh, no, not with the little stinker we're seeing tonight. From what I've heard about it, we'll be at Blake's by 10 o'clock.
You really ought to be fair in these plays.
Are these plays fair to me?
I've never seen you walk out of a musical.
Oh, that musical isn't opening tonight.
No?
No, darling, you'll have to learn the rules. That musical, there are always 4 changes of title and 3 postponements. They liked it in New Haven, but it needs a lot of work.
Oh, I was hoping it was a musical.
Well, you have such a light mind.
Not a bit. Musicals somehow have a humanizing effect on you. After a serious play, we joined the proletariat in the subway, and I listened to a lecture on the drama. After musically bring me home in a taxi, you make a few passes.
Now, wait a minute, darling. That's a very inaccurate piece of reporting.
Oh, I will admit that after the Berman play, you told me I have authentic beauty, and that's a hell of a thing to say to a girl. It wasn't until after our first musical you told me I have nice legs, and I have, too.
Well, for a minister's daughter, you know a lot about life. Where'd you learn it?
In the choir loft.
I'll have to explain that to you sometime, darling. The close connection between eroticism and religion.
Well, religion never gets as high as the choir loft. Which reminds me, I better go over and tell Father, please not to wait up for me tonight.
I've never been able to rationalize it.
What?
My falling in love with a girl from Brooklyn.
Falling in love? You're not stooping to be articulate, are you?
The only way I can regain my self-esteem is to keep you in New York.
Did you say keep?
Oh no, I've come to the conclusion that you are holding out for the legalities.
I can afford to be a good girl for quite a few years yet.
And I can't wait that long. Say, where can we be married in a hurry tonight?
I'm afraid Father will insist on officiating.
Oh God, I wish your father could even make the marriage service sound pedestrian.
Were you by chance writing a review of it?
Oh no, I'm sorry, darling. It's an occupational disease. Good. I may give that play tonight a good notice.
Now, darling, don't pretend you love me that much.
Be sure to tell your father not to wait up tonight.
I think tonight I better tell him to wait up.
I'll call Winchell and publish the ban.
Nevertheless.
All right, everything formal and legal, but not ready for the next month.
Oh, darling, I'll talk it over with Father and set the date.
No, we'll have to see what's in rehearsal. There are a lot of other first nights in October. Hello, Mortimer! Good afternoon, Mr. President. How are you?
Bully, thank you, just bully. What news have you brought me?
Oh, just this. Mr. President, the country is squarely behind you.
Yes, I know. Isn't it wonderful? Well, goodbye. Goodbye.
Where are you off to, Teddy?
Panama!
Panama's in the cellar. He takes locks to the canal down there.
Oh, you're so sweet in there. And he's very fond of you.
Well, Teddy was always my favorite brother.
Favorite? Were there more of you?
Oh, yes, there's another brother, Jonathan.
Well, I've never heard of him. Your aunt's never mentioned him.
No, we don't like to talk about Jonathan much. You see, Jonathan left Brooklyn early by request. He was the sort of boy who liked to cut worms into his teeth.
What became of him?
I don't know, he wanted to become a surgeon like grandfather, but he didn't want to go to medical school first, and then his practice got him into trouble. Oh no, we're skipping dinner. We won't have to leave yet for half an hour.
Well, then I'll leave you two alone together again.
Don't bother, darling. I have to go over and speak with Father. Before I go out with you, he likes to pray over me a little.
Well, if the prayer isn't too long, I'll have time to lead you beside the distilled water.
Oh, Mortimer, that's the first time I've ever heard you quote the Bible. You were made with me a good influence for you.
By the way, I'm going to marry her.
What? Oh, Mortimer! Martha, come right in here. I've got the most wonderful news for you. Mortimer and Elaine are going to be married. Married? Oh, Mortimer! We hoped it would happen just like this. Elaine must be the happiest girl in the world.
Happy, just look at her leaping over those gravestones. Say, what's that?
Oh, what's what, dear?
See that statue there? That's a Harungton and a Karina.
Oh, no, dear, that's Emma B. Stout descending to heaven.
No, on Mrs. Stout's left ear. That's a red-crested swallow. I've only seen one of those before in my life.
I don't know how you can be thinking about a bird now. What with the lane, the engagement, and everything.
Oh, well, it's a vanishing species. Thoreau was very fond of them. By the way, I left a large envelope around here somewhere last week. Just one of my chapters on Thoreau. Have you seen it?
Well, if you left it here, it must be here somewhere. Well, when are you going to be married? On your plans, there must be something more you can tell us about Elaine.
Elaine? Oh, yes, Elaine. Elaine thought it was brilliant.
What was, dear?
All my chapters on Thoreau.
Oh, well, when Elaine comes back, I think we ought to have a little celebration. Let's drink to your happiness. Well, Martha, is there some of that Lady Baltimore cake left? Yes. And all over the bottle of wine.
Oh, and to think it all happened in this room!
No, where could I have put that?
Well, with your fiancé sitting beside you tonight, I do hope the play will be something you can enjoy for once. What may be something romantic. What's the name of it?
Murder will out. When the curtain rises, the first thing you'll see is a dead body. And Tabby, you were making plans for Teddy to go to that sanitarium, Happydale?
Oh, yes, dear. Dr. Harper was here today, and all the papers were at his side. Here they are.
He's got to sign them right away.
Oh, that's what Dr. Harper thinks. Then there won't be any legal difficulties after we pass on.
He's got to sign them right now this minute. He's down in the cellar, so get him up here right away.
Oh, there's no such hurry as that, dear. No, when Teddy starts working on the canal, you can't get his mind on anything else.
No, he's got to sign them right now this minute. He's got to go to Happydale tonight.
Oh, no, dear, that's not until after we're
Well,
gone.
right away, I tell you, right away.
My Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, as long as we live, we'll never be separated from Teddy.
Darlings, I'm sorry, but I've got some shocking and frightful news for you. Now, we've all got to try to keep our heads. You know, we've sort of humored Teddy all this time because, well, we thought he was harmless.
Why, he is harmless.
He was harmless, and that's why he's got to be confined.
My Mortimer, why have you suddenly turned against Teddy, your own brother?
Well, you ought to know sometime. It might as well be now. Teddy's killed a man.
Nonsense, dear.
There's a body in the window seat.
Oh, yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Of course we know, but that has nothing to do with Teddy. Oh, yeah, forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget?
Oh, he had a dream to peep.
But who is he?
His name's Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. Oh, that's really all I know about him, except that he's a Methodist.
Well, that's all you know about him. Well, how did he get here? What happened to him?
He died.
And Martha, men just don't get in the window seats and die.
He died first.
But how?
Oh, no, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
Well, how did the poison get in the wine?
Well, we put the poison in the wine because it was less noticeable there.
You put it in the wine?
Oh, yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Dr. Harper was drunk.
So you knew what you'd done, and you didn't want Dr. Harper to see the body.
Well, not indeed. That would have been very nice. Now, for the whole thing, I do think Martha and I have the right to our own little secrets. And don't you tell a lick. Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She's much better, but she would like us to take little Junior to the movies again. Oh, well, we must do that tomorrow or the next day. Yes, but this time we'll go to where we want. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures again.
Hello? Hello, yes? Al. Do you know what this is? Yeah, that's right. Say, when I left the office, did I tell you where I was going? Remember? Well, where did I say? Well, it would take me about half an hour to get to Brooklyn. What time have you got? Oh, that's right. I must be here. And Harry and Martha, come in here. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
But we can't just leave him there. Good heavens, what am I going to do? I can't turn you in. But what am I going to do?
Oh, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited. Oh, and for pity's sake, stop worrying. We told you to forget the whole thing.
Forget, my dear Aunt Abby. How can I make you realize that something has to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
Mr. Hoskins.
Hoskins, dear.
Well, whatever his name is, I've said we can't leave him there.
Oh, we don't intend to, dear. Oh, no, he's down in the cellar now, digging the block.
You're going to bury him?
Oh, yes, dear, that's what we did with the others.
You can't bury him. Others?
The other gentlemen.
When you say others, you mean others? As in more than one others?
Oh, yes, dear. Let's see. This makes 11, doesn't it? No, dear. This makes 12.
Oh, I think you're wrong, Abby. This is, oh
husband, so that makes it 12.
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, my. It's good to hear your voice.
Well, anyway, they're all down in the cellar.
No, Al, I'm sober as a lark. I was just calling you because I was feeling a little pirandello. Oh, you wouldn't know. Look, Al, you get hold of George right away. He's got to cover the play for me tonight. No, Al, you're wrong. I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Well, this is my department and I'm running it. Now, you get a hold of George. All right, now let's see. Where were we? 12!
Oh, yes, Abby, George comes the first one, and that makes 12.
Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, he was a Baptist. Of course, I still don't think we can claim full credit for him because he just died. Without any help from us. You see, Mr. Midgley came here looking for a room. It was right after you moved to New York. Well, it didn't seem right for that lovely room to be going to waste when there were so many people who needed it. He was such a lonely man. And all his kith and kin were dead, and it left him so forlorn and unhappy. We felt so sorry for him. And then when his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair, looking so peaceful, remember, Martha? Oh, well, we made up our minds then and there that if we could help other lonely old men to that same peace, we would.
He dropped dead right in that chair? Oh, how awful for you.
Oh, no, dear, it was rather like old times. Your grandfather used to keep a cadaver or two around the house, you see. And Taggy was digging out in Panama, and he thought Mr. Midgley was a yellow fever victim. Then he had to be buried immediately. So we all took him down to Panama and put him in the lock. Now, you see, that's why we told you not to worry, because we know exactly what's to be done.
So that's how all this started? A man just walking in here and dropping dead?
Well, of course, we realized we couldn't depend on that happening again. You remember those jars of poison that were up on the shelves of Grandfather's laboratory all those years? I know your Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough of her piccalilli. For 1 gallon of elderberry wine, I take 1 teaspoonful of arsenic, and then I add 1/2 teaspoonful of strychnine, and then just a pinch of cyanide.
Should have quite a kick.
Yes, as a matter of fact, one of our gentlemen was kind enough to say, "How delicious." I really must get things started in the kitchen. I wish you could stay for dinner. I'm trying out the roux recipe.
Oh, no, I couldn't eat a thing.
I'll come and help you, dear. Well, I feel so much better now. Oh, you have to wait for Elaine, don't you? How happy you must be. Well, dear, I'll leave you alone with your thoughts.
Oh, it's you!
Don't be cross, darling. Father could see I was excited, so I told him about us, and it made it hard for me to get away. But listen, darling, he's not going to wait up for me tonight.
Look, Elaine, you run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, you know, I call you up every day or two.
But we're going to the theater tonight.
No, we're not.
Well, why not?
Elaine, something's come up.
What, darling?
I'm
Mortimer, you lost your
Oh,
job.
no, it's not that. You see, I'm just not covering that play tonight. Now you run along home, Elaine.
But I've got to know what's happened. Certainly you can tell me.
No, I can't.
But if we're going to be married,
Mary?
have you forgotten that 15 minutes ago you proposed to me?
I did? Oh, yes, I did. Well, as far as I know, that's still on.
Listen, you can't propose to me 1 minute and throw me out of the house the next.
I'm not throwing you out of the house here. Would you please get the hell out of here?
No, I will not get out of here, not till I've had some sort of explanation.
Elaine, please, Hello? Oh, yes, hello, Al. I know it's important. Well, can't it wait a minute? All right, just a minute. Look, Elaine, you're a sweet girl, and I love you very much. But I have something on my mind right now, and I need you to go home and wait until I call you.
Don't try to be masterful.
When we're married and I have problems to face, I hope that you're less tedious and uninspired.
And when we're married, if we're married, I hope I find you adequate.
Elaine! Oh!
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster. Well, this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs.
Won't you sit down? I'm sorry, we were just setting the table for dinner.
Oh, hello, City Desk, and let me talk to Al. Al, City Desk. What? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong number. That's in the room.
Why don't you sit down for a moment and let's get acquainted?
That's a little too much good. I don't like the room.
Oh, is Brooklyn your home?
I don't have a home. Live no cell. Don't like it.
Hello, City Desk.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Don't have any family.
All alone in the world?
Yep.
Well, Martha, you come to just the right house. Do sit down.
Oh, City Desk, hello, let me talk to Al. Al, I can't cover the place tonight. That's all there is to it. I can't.
Oh, what church do you go to? There's an Episcopal church practically next door.
I'm vegetarian. Used to be.
Well, what's George doing in Bermuda? Well, certainly I told him he could go to Bermuda. It's my department, isn't it? Well, you look around the office and see who you can find.
They're always so much noise.
No, he doesn't live with us.
Oh, how about the office boy? You know, the bright one, the one that we don't like. You look around the office and I'll hold on.
They're always. There's the room.
Well, it's upstairs. Well, won't you try a glass of our wine before we start up?
Never touch it.
We make it ourselves. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. I want an elderberry one because a boy.
Then, oh, how about some printers? Al, there must be some printers around. The guy who sets my copy. His name is Joe, and he's the third machine from the left. He must know something about what I write. Oh, no, wait a minute, Al. He might turn out to be another Burns Mantle.
You have your own elderberry wishes.
No, but the cemetery is full of them.
I'm not drinking, but I'm going to start now.
You so please.
We might, but first just see whether you like our wine. Mortimer! Oh, Mortimer, not that!
You get out of here! I don't know how to explain this to you, but it's not only against the law, it's wrong. It's not a nice thing to do. You wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand.
Abby, we shouldn't have told Mortimer!
You see, what I'm trying to say is, this has developed into a very bad habit.
We don't try to stop you from doing anything you like to do. Why don't you mind to interfere with us?
No? Oh, yeah. Hello? No. Oh, right. I'll see the first act, and I'll pan the hell out of it. But look, Al, you've got to do me a favor. Get a hold of O'Brien. Yes, our lawyer, the head of our legal department. Have him meet me at the theater. Yes. Well, you'll do this for me, won't you? Because I'm counting on you. All right. I'm starting now. Look, Auntie, I've got to go to the theater, and I can't get out of it. But before I go, would you please promise me to do this one thing?
Well, we have to know what it is first.
I love you very much, and I know you love me. I'd do anything in the world for you, and I want you to do this one little thing for me.
What do you want us to do?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Leave Mr. Spinoza Hoskins right where he is, and don't let anyone in this house while I'm gone.
Why?
I want time to think. I've got quite a little to think about, you know. And besides, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Well, what on earth could happen to us?
Well, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
Services?
Certainly. You don't think we buried Mr. Hoskins without a full method of service, do you? Why, he was a Methodist.
Well, couldn't that wait until I get back?
I think you could join us.
Yes.
We enjoy services, especially like hymns. Remember how beautifully Mortimer used to sing in the choir before his voice changed?
Now you won't let anyone in this house while I'm gone. Promise.
Well, Martha, we can do that now that Mortimer's cooperating with us. Well, all right, Mortimer.
Now, do you have some paper? No, I've got to go to the theater. I can't get out of it. You see, there's a man that I have to see.
Well, here's some stationery. Will this do?
That'll be fine. I I can save time if I write my review on the way to the theater.
Mortimer didn't quite seem himself today. Well, that's only natural. I think I know why. Why? Well, he's just become engaged to be married. I suppose that always makes a man there. Well, I'm so happy for Elaine. And their honeymoon ought to give Mortimer a real vacation. I don't think he got much rest this summer. Well, at least he didn't go kiting off to China or Spain. Oh, I never could understand why he wanted to go to those places. Well, I think to Mortimer, the theater has always seemed pretty small potatoes. But he needs something big to criticize. Something like the human race. Oh, Abby. If Mortimer's coming back for the funeral services for Mr. Hoskins, we'll need another candle. There's one in my room. Well, you know, dear, it's really my turn to read the services. Oh, but since you weren't here when Mr. Hoskins came, I want you to do it. Well, that's very nice of you, dear. Are you sure you want me to? Well, it's only fair. Well, I think I'll wear my black Mama Senior Mother's old brooch. Oh, no, dear. But we promised Mortimer we wouldn't let him out here. Well, who do you suppose it is? No, look. It's two men. I've never seen them before. Are you sure? There's a car at the curb. He must have come in that. Oh, let me look. Do you recognize them? They're strangers to me. Well, we'll just have to pretend like we're not here.
Men, Doctor! It's the home of my youth. This boy couldn't wait to escape from this place. And I'm glad to escape back into it.
Oh, yeah, Johnny. It's a good hideout.
Nothing must still live here. Something so unmistakably Brewster about the Brewsters. There's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Oh, yeah, Johnny. I'm hungry. Look, Johnny, drinks.
We're expected. A good omen.
Who are you? And what are you doing here?
And I'll be a Martha's Jonathan.
You get out, Real!
But I'm Jonathan, your nephew, Jonathan.
No, you're not. You're nothing like Jonathan. Don't pretend you are. You just get out of
I
here.
am Jonathan. This is Dr. Einstein.
And he's not Dr. Einstein either.
Not Dr. Albert Einstein, Dr. Herman Einstein.
Who are you? You're not our nephew, Jonathan.
You're still wearing the lovely garnet ring Grandmother Brewster bought you in England. And you have Martha, still the high collar to hide the scar where grandmother's acid burned you.
His voice is like Jonathan's. Have you been in an accident?
No, my face. Dr. Einstein is responsible for that. It's a plastic surgeon. He changes people's faces.
But I've seen that face before. Oh, remember, Abby, when we took the little Schultz boys to the movies and I was so frightened? It was that face!
Now, easy, Johnny, easy. Now, don't worry, ladies. You see, I give Johnny 3 faces in the last 5 years. Oh, I give him another right away. Now, about that last face, well, I saw that picture too, and just before I operated, and well, I was intoxicated.
See, doctor! You shouldn't have done to me! Even my own family!
Johnny, you're home, and in this lovely house. Oh, how many times Johnny tells me about Brooklyn, and about this house, and about these 2 hands that he loves so much. Johnny, they know it's you, and you know it's Johnny. So speak to him and tell him so.
Well, Jonathan, it's been a long time. What have you been doing all these years? Yes, where were you?
Oh, England, South Africa, last 5 years Chicago. Dr. Einstein and I were in business there together.
Oh, well, we were in Chicago for the World's Fair. Ooh, we found Chicago awfully warm.
Oh, yes, sir. We found it awfully hot,
Well, it's good to be in Brooklyn again. And you, Abby, Martha, you don't look a day older. Just as I remembered you. Sweet, charming, hospitable.
And dear Teddy, did he get into politics? Well, my little brother, Doctor, was determined to become president.
Teddy's fine, just fine. And Mortimer's well, too.
I know about Mortimer. See this picture at the head of his column. He's evidently fulfilled all the promise of his early nasty nature.
We're very fond of Mortimer. Well, Jonathan, it's been nice seeing you again.
Thank you, Aunt Martha. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, you mustn't let what's on the stove boil over. Yes, if you'll excuse us for a moment. Unless you're in a hurry to be going somewhere.
Well, Johnny, where do we go from here? Now we got to think fast. The police have got pictures of that place. Oh, I gotta operate on you right away. And I gotta find some place to operate. And we've got to find some place for Mr. Spinazzo too.
Don't waste any word on that, brat.
Oh, Johnny, we got a hot stick on our hands.
Get Mr. Spinoza.
Johnny, we just can't leave a dead body in the rumble seat. Oh, he was a good fellow, Johnny. He gives us a lift. And what happens?
You should have looked like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
Now, Johnny, we find a place somewhere, and I fix you up quick.
Tonight.
Johnny, I got to eat first. Yes, because I'm hungry and I'm weak.
Jonathan, we're glad that you remembered us and took the trouble to come in and say hello. Because you were never happy in this house, and we were never happy while you were in it. So we've just come in to say goodbye.
And howdy. Can't say that your feeling towards me comes as a surprise. It's been a great many hour, regretting the many heartache I must have caused you as a boy.
You were quite a trial to us, Jonathan.
But my great disappointment for Dr. Einstein. You see, I promised him that no matter how hurried we were in passing through Brooklyn, I'd take the time to bring him here for one of Aunt Martha's home-cooked dinners.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm afraid there wouldn't be enough. Oh, well, Abby, it's a pretty good-sized pot roast.
Pot roast.
Oh, I think the least we could do is...
Thank you, Aunt Martha. We'll stay to dinner.
Well, we'll hurry it along. Oh, yes. Jonathan, if you want to freshen up, you can use the washroom in Grandfather's old laboratory.
Is that still there?
Yes, just as he left it. Well, I'll help Martha get things started since we're all in a hurry.
Well, we get a meal anyway.
Grandfather's laboratory, just as west. Doctor, a perfect operating room.
Too bad we can't use it.
You finish with meal and we can make a fortune here. The laboratory, the large ward in the attic, 10 beds, doctor. Brooklyn is crying for your talent.
No. Now I would yourself up, Johnny. Besides, for Brooklyn, we're a year too late.
You don't know the sound, doctor. Practically everybody in Brooklyn needs a new base.
Well, yeah. So many of your faces are locked up.
Very small percentage. Besides, boys in Brooklyn are famous for paying generously to stay out of jail.
Now, take it easy, Johnny. Well, your aunts, they don't want us here.
We're here for dinner, aren't we?
Well, yeah. But after
Leave it to me. I'll handle it. This house will be our headquarters for years.
Oh, that would be beautiful, Johnny. This nice, quiet house. And those aunts of yours. Oh, what sweet little ladies. I love them already. I get the bags, yeah?
Doctor, we must wait until we're invited.
But you just said...
We'll be invited.
And if they say no...
Doctor, like those old women.
Oh, it's like comes true a beautiful dream. Only, I hope you're not dreaming. Oh, it's so peaceful.
It makes this house so perfect for us. So peaceful. George! Yes, how those 5 years in Chicago amongst the busiest and happiest of my life.
Oh yes, and from Chicago, we go to South Bend, Indiana.
You wouldn't be interested in our experience in Indiana.
Well, Jonathan, you've led a very interesting life, I'm sure. But we really shouldn't allow you to talk so late.
I'm meeting Dr. Einstein in London, and I'd say change the whole course of my life. You remember, I've been in South Africa, the diamond business, and Amsterdam, the diamond market. I want to go back to South Africa. Dr. Einstein made it possible for me.
A good job, Johnny. You see, when we take the bandages off Johnny, well, his face looks so different, the nurse had to introduce me.
Look at the picture, Doctor. Look at the picture with me. Oh, dear me.
Well, this looks more the way you used to look, but still, I wouldn't know you.
Think we'll go back to that face, Doctor.
Yeah, I'm safe now. Johnny, out!
Well, I know we both want to get to where you're going.
My dear aunts, I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I'm unable to move a muscle.
Oh yes, it's nice here.
After all, it's just very late, and...
I found it.
What did you find, Teddy?
Story of my life. My bow. Here's the picture I was telling you about, General. Here we are, both of us. President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Cleveland Cut. That's me, General. And that's you. My, how I changed. Well, you see that picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on Cleveland Cut. We're still digging logs. And now, General, we will both go to Panama and inspect the new log.
Oh, no, Teddy, not to Panama.
No, we go some other time. Panama's a long way off. Nonsense, it's just down in the cellar.
Cellar?
Oh, we let you dig the Panama Canal in the cellar.
General Goethals, as President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the man who gave you this job, I demand that you accompany me on the inspection of the new log.
I think it's time you went to bed, Teddy.
I beg your pardon. And who are you?
Woodrow Wilson, go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson. But your face is familiar. Let me see. You're not anyone I know now. Perhaps later on my hunting trip to Africa. Yeah, you look like someone I might meet in the jungle.
It's your brother Jonathan, dear. He had his face changed.
So that's it. A nature faker.
And perhaps you have been to bed. But Jonathan and his friend have to get back to their hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
Well, all right, Mr. President. We go to Panama. Boy, follow me, General. It's down south, you know.
Anna, I must correct your misapprehension. Spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Well, there's a very nice little hotel just in...
And Martha, this is my home.
But Jonathan, you can't stay here. We need our rooms.
You need them?
Yes, for our lodgers.
The lodgers in this house?
Oh, not just now, but we plan to have some.
The old room is still free.
But Jonathan, there's no place for Dr. Einstein.
Share the room with me.
No, Jonathan, I'm afraid you can't stay here.
Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. Remember this afternoon, there's a boy that could be very disagreeable. Wouldn't be pleasant for any of us.
Perhaps we better let them stay here tonight. Well, just overnight, Jonathan.
Settle. I'll get my room ready.
It just needs airing out. So we keep it ready to show our lodgers. I think you and Dr. Einstein find it comfortable.
The most distinguished guest in Dr. Einstein. I'm afraid you don't appreciate his skill, but you will. In a few weeks, you'll see me looking like a very different Jonathan.
He can't operate on you here.
When we get organized, when we resume practice. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're turning grandfather's old laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be quite busy.
Jonathan, I will not let you turn this house into a hospital.
A hospital, heavens no. It'll be beauty parlor.
Hey, Johnny, down in the cellar.
Dr. Einstein, the parents have invited us to live with them.
Oh, you fixed it.
Well, you're staying here tonight.
Please get our room ready immediately.
Well, for tonight.
Johnny, while I was down in the cellar, what do you think I found?
What?
The Panama Canal!
Panama Canal?
Yes! It just fits Mr. Spinozzo. It's a hole that Teddy dug. It's 6 feet long and 4 feet wide.
Down there?
Yes! You think they knew we were bringing Mr. Spinozzo? Now there's hospitality.
They're good children, my aunt. We're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
How do we get him in?
Yes, we just can't bring him through the front door. We'll bring the car between the house and the cemetery. When they've gone to bed, bring Mr. Spinozzo in through the window.
Bed. Just think, we've got a bed tonight.
Easy, doctor. Remember, the top rate tomorrow. This time you better be sober.
Oh, I'll make you a beautiful.
If you don't,
Jonathan, your room is ready.
then you and Aunt Martha can go to bed. Bring in the car behind the house.
Oh, it's all right where it is until morning.
Don't want to leave it in the street. Might be against the law.
Oh, Abby, what are we going to do? Well, we're not going to let them stay more than one night in this house, for one thing. What would the neighbors think? People coming in here with one face and going out with another. Oh, but what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins? Oh, Mr. Hoskins. It can't be very comfortable for him in there. Oh, and he's been so patient, the poor dear. Well, I think Teddy had better get Mr. Hoskins downstairs right away. Abby, I will not invite Jonathan to the funeral services. No, we'll wait until they've gone to bed and then come down and hold services.
General Goebbels was very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
Then we mustn't tell him about it.
But it's his department.
No, we mustn't tell him, Teddy. It would just spoil his visit.
I'm sorry, Aunt Abby. It's out of my hands. He's got to be told. Army regulations, you know.
No, we mustn't tell him. We must keep it a secret. Yes.
A state secret?
Yes, a state secret. Promise.
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now let's see. How are we going to keep it a secret?
Oh, well, Teddy, you go back down in the cellar. And when I turn out the lights, when it's all dark, you come up and take the poor man down to the canal. Now go along, Teddy. And then we'll come down later and hold services.
You may announce the President will say a few words.
Oh.
Where is the poor devil?
Oh, he's in the window seat.
It seems to be spreading. We've never had yellow fever there before.
Jonathan and Jonathan and Dr. Einstein to come back. Well, let's see if we can get them to go to bed right away. Yes, and then by the time they're asleep, we'll be all dressed for the funeral. Oh, Abby, I haven't even seen Mr. Hoskins yet. Oh, my goodness, that's right. You were out. Well, you just come right over and see him now. Oh, he's really very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist. Oh!
Bring in luggage through here.
Oh, Jonathan, I'm waiting for you. You can go right up.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours. The two and Aunt Martha can run along today.
Oh, now you must be very tired, both of you, and we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. Time I came home to take care of you.
Oh, we were planning to go and...
And Martha, did you hear me say go to bed? Miss Smith can go to the laboratory in the morning. Tell them we're all going to bed.
I'll wait until you're up and then turn out the lights.
Have a flight, Doctor. Run along, Aunt Martha. Right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Now, Aunt Abby, turn out the lights.
Both in the Panama.
All right, take a look around outside the house. When I tap on the window, you open the glass.
Okay. Oh!
Oh, mattress.
That was me, Johnny. Johnny, there's someone at the door. No, go quick. I manage it. Just go quick.
Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Miss Abby, Miss Martha. Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
What are you doing here?
I came over to see Miss Abby and Miss Martha.
Doctor, turn on the lights. It was a rather untimely moment for a social call.
I think you'd better explain what you're doing here.
I happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm in this house every day and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Abby and Miss Martha? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we better introduce ourselves. This is Dr. Einstein.
Einstein.
Surgeon of great distinction. And something of a magician.
And I suppose you're going to tell me that you're Boris.
I'm Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, you're Jonathan.
You've heard of me.
Yes, just this afternoon for the first time.
What did they say about me?
Only that there was another brother named Jonathan, that's all that was said. Well, that explains everything. Now that I know who you are, I'll be running along back out. If you'll kindly unlock the door.
Explains everything? Just what is that supposed to mean? Why did you come here at this time of night?
I thought I saw someone prowling around the house. I suppose it was you.
You saw someone prowling around the house?
Yes, weren't you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just someone walking around the house to the car.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all. That's why I came over here. You see, I wanted to tell Miss Abby to call the police. But if it was you and that's your car, I don't need to bother Miss Abby. I'll be ready to walk back home.
And doing in the car?
I don't know. You see, I was on my way over here.
I think I'm lying.
I think she tells the truth, Johnny. Let her go now, huh?
I think she's lying. I think she's dangerous. She shouldn't be allowed around loose.
Ah, take your hands off me!
Doctor!
It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy! Teddy! Tell these men who I am!
That's my daughter, Alice.
No! No!
George! Doctor, your handkerchief! The cellar!
My God, I'm still there!
This is your brother Jonathan, and this is Dr. Einstein.
I know this isn't a nightmare, but what is it? Go back home, Mortimer. Who did you say this was?
It's your brother Jonathan. He's had his face changed. Dr. Einstein performed the operation.
Jonathan? Well, Jonathan, you always were a horror, but you have to look like one too. And the things I used to do to you when we were boys. Remember the time we were tied to the bedpost, the needles into your fingernails? By God, it is Jonathan. Yes, I remember you. I remember you as the most detestable, venomous, vicious form of animal life I've ever known.
Now, don't you two boys stop quarreling again the minute you see each other.
There won't be any fight, Aunt Tabby. Jonathan, you're not going to tear, so get out. Been invited to stay. Not in this house.
Just for the night.
I don't want them anywhere near me.
We did invite them for tonight, and it would be very nice to go back on our word.
Oh, all right, tonight, but first thing in the morning out. Where are they sleeping?
Oh, we put them in Jonathan's old room.
That's my old room. I'm sleeping there tonight, because I'm here to stay.
Oh, Mortimer, I'm so glad.
Johnny, we sleep down here.
You bet your life to sleep down here.
You sleep on the sofa, and I sleep on the window seat.
Oh, the window seat. Well, the window seat's good enough for me. I'll just have to sleep on the window seat.
All of this argument, it makes me think of Mr. Spinoza.
Well, now, Mortimer, there really isn't any need to inconvenience you. We'll sleep down here tonight.
Jonathan, this sudden consideration for me is very unconvincing.
Come along, Johnny. We get the things out of our room, eh?
Don't bother, Doctor.
By the way, Doctor, completely lost track of Mr. Spinoza.
Who is this Mr. Spinalzo?
Oh, it's just a friend of ours Johnny's been looking for.
Well, don't you be bringing anyone else in here.
Don't worry about it, Johnny. While we're back, I'll tell you what about.
Mortimer, you don't have to stay down here. I can go with Mom, and you can take my room.
Well, now, Anna, it really isn't any trouble, and we'll be back in a few minutes. You can have the room, Mortimer.
You're just wasting time. I told you I'm sleeping down here.
Mortimer!
Oh, darling, Elaine, what happened?
I've almost been killed!
You've almost been Abby, Martha.
No, it was more than that. He's some kind of maniac. Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
Darling, you're trembling. Do you have any smelling salts?
No, but you think some hot tea or some...
Oh, call me and make some for me too and some sandwiches because I haven't had any dinner.
Well, we'll make something for the both of you. Martha, we can leave our hats downstairs and get down.
You two aren't going somewhere. Were you, you know what time it is? It's almost after 12. Oh, 12. Elaine, you've got to go home.
What?
I wanted some sandwiches for you both. It won't take a minute. Yeah, why don't you remember? We're going to celebrate your engagement. Oh, and that's just what we'll do. We'll make a nice supper for the both of you. And we'll open a bottle of wine.
Oh, all right. Oh, no wine.
Mortimer, what is going on in this house?
What do you mean, what's going on in this house?
You were supposed to take me to dinner in the theater tonight. You called it off. You asked me to marry you. I said I wouldn't. 5 minutes later, you threw me out of the house. Tonight, just after your brother tries to strangle me, you want to chase me home. Now listen, Mr. Brewster, before I go home, I want to know where I stand. Do you love me?
I love you very much, Elaine. In fact, I love you so much, I can't marry you.
You're simply going crazy.
I don't think so, but you see, it's just a matter of time. Insanity runs in my family. But practically Gallus. And that's what I here.
Now listen, you've got to do better than that.
No, you don't understand. There's a strange taint in the Brewster blood. Well, it's what you'd expect if Strindberg had written Hell's a Poppin'.
Just because Teddy's a little.
No, it goes way back. The first Brewster, the one who came over on the Mayflower. You know how the Indians used to scalp the settlers? Well, he used to scalp the Indians.
It's ancient history.
Oh, the whole family. Take grandfather, for instance. He used to patent his medicines out on dead people to make sure he wouldn't kill them.
Crazy, he made $1 million.
And Jonathan, you just said he was a maniac and then he tried to kill you.
But he's your brother, not you. I'm in love with you.
And Teddy, you know Teddy, he thinks he's Roosevelt. No, dear, no Brewster should marry. I realize now that if I'd met my father in time, I'd have stopped him.
All this doesn't prove that you're crazy. Look at your eyes. They're Brewsters, aren't they? And the sanest, sweetest people I've ever known.
Well, even they have their peculiarities.
Yes, but what lovely peculiarities. Kindness, generosity, human sympathy.
There's another one. I'm not going to. Now look, Elaine, you've got to go home. Something very important has just come up.
Oh, come where? We don't go together.
Oh, I know I'm acting irrationally, dear, but just put it down to the fact that I'm a mad Brewster.
Now listen, if you think you're going to get out of this by pretending you're insane, you're crazy. Maybe you're not going to marry me, but I'm going to marry you. I love you, you dope.
Well, if you love me, when you get out of here.
Oh, no, you walk me home, I'm afraid.
Afraid? A little walk to the cemetery? Oh, of course, dear. Now, I'll call you up in a day or two.
You critic!
Oh! And Abby and Martha, come in here. Come in here now.
What is it? Oh, there's a letter.
How about you promise me not to let anyone in this house while I was gone?
And Jonathan just
I
walked.
don't mean Jonathan.
And Dr. Einstein was with
And I don't mean Dr. Einstein. Who is in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It is not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who can that be?
Are you trying to tell me you've never seen this man before?
I certainly am. Why, this is a fine howdy. It's getting so anybody thinks he can walk into this house.
Now, Aunt Abby, don't try to get out of it. It's another one of your gentlemen.
Why, Mortimer, how can you say such a thing? Why, that man's an imposter. He's come here to be buried in our cellar. He's mistaken.
Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
But this man couldn't have gotten the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, he must have gone to Panama.
Oh, you buried him?
No, not yet. He's just down there waiting for the services. Poor dear. We haven't had a minute with Jonathan in the house. Oh dear. We've always wanted to hold a double funeral, but I will not read services over a total stranger.
And Abby, a stranger, there are 12 men buried in our cellar, and you admit that you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you don't think I'd stoop to telling a fib.
Oh! I can't believe it.
Mortimer, I'd like to have a word with you.
Oh, words about all you'll have time for, Jonathan. I've come to the decision that you and your doctor friend are just going to have to get out of this house and get as far away as possible.
Glad you recognize the fact that we can't live under the same roof. You arrived at the wrong solution. Take your suitcase and get out.
Jonathan, you're beginning to bore me, so you played your one night stand in Brooklyn, now move on.
Dear Mortimer, just because you graduated from the back bench to the typewriter, don't think you've grown up.
If you think that I can be frightened, if you think that there's anything that I'm scared of,
I've led a strange life, Mortimer. It's taught me one thing. Be afraid of nothing.
Mother, just look in the window.
Jonathan, show Aunt Martha what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. Jonathan, I'll give you this one chance to get out of Brooklyn and take that evidence with you. You see, Jonathan and Dr. Einstein and their cold companion are just leaving. Yes, Jonathan, you can't ask for more than that. All right, then. I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone. Are you still giving me orders after seeing what's happened to Mr. Spinozzo's?
Spinozzo! I knew he was a foreigner.
Remember what happened to Spinozzo? It happened to you, too.
But
Oh, hello, Miss Abby.
Oh, Officer O'Hara, is there something we can do for you?
No, I saw your lights on, and I thought there might be some sickness in the house. Oh, you've got company. I'm sorry.
No, come in, Officer O'Hara.
Yes, come in. Come right in, Officer O'Hara. This is our nephew Mortimer.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, and this is another nephew, Jonathan.
Please make your acquaintance. Well, it must be nice having your nephews visiting you. Are they going to be staying with you?
I'm staying. My brother Jonathan's just leaving.
I've met you somewhere before, haven't I?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Jonathan hasn't been home for years.
Well, you certainly look familiar to me. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere.
I don't think so.
Well, I'll be late to say your goodbyes.
Yes, sir, then I'd hurry if I were you. No. You don't understand. You've got to stay. I like how you stay till my brother goes.
Well, I'm due to check in a few minutes.
Oh, no, we'll be having a cup of coffee in a minute. Won't you join us?
Oh, I forgot the coffee. Oh, and I'd better make some more sandwiches. I ought to know your appetite by this time, Officer O'Hara.
Oh, don't bother. I'm due to check in a few minutes.
No, we'll be having a cup of coffee in a minute. My brother will be gone soon, so sit down.
Well, say, ain't I seen a photograph of your brother around here someplace?
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, he certainly reminds me of somebody.
He reminds you of somebody you've probably seen in the movies.
No, I never go to the movies. I hate them. My mother says the movies is a bastardized.
Oh, yes, it's full of them. Your mother said that?
Yeah, my mother. My mother was a stage actress. Perhaps you've heard of her? Peaches Latour?
It sounds like a name I've seen on a program. Oh, what did she play?
Well, her big hit was Mutt and Jeff. She played it for 3 years. I was born on tour, the 3rd season.
Were?
Yeah, Sioux City, Iowa. I was born in the dressing room at the end of the 2nd act, and Mother made the finale.
What a trooper! I heard there's quite a story in your mother. I write about the theater, you know.
You do? Say you're not Mortimer Brewster with Atlantic Creek?
Oh, yes.
Well, I'm certainly glad to meet you. You see, Mr. Brewster, we're in the same line of business, you and I.
We are?
Yeah, I'm a playwright. All this being on the police force is just temporary.
How long have you been on the force?
12 years. But you see, I've been collecting material for a play.
I bet it's a honey.
Well, that'll be with all the drama I see being a cop. You see, Mr. Brewster, you got no idea what goes on.
Oh, I think I have.
Gee, what time have you got?
10 after 1.
I gotta go check.
Oh, no, so here, on that play of yours, I might be able to help you.
You would? Say it was fate my walking in here tonight? Look, I'll tell you the plot.
No, please.
It opens in my mother's dressing room. And
Oh, you're going, eh? Well, good. You haven't got much time, you know.
Well, everything's just about ready. Oh, you're leaving now, Jonathan. Goodbye. Goodbye, Dr. Einstein. Oh, doesn't this kid belong to you?
Oh, yes, Jonathan. You can't leave yet. You can't leave until you've taken all of your things. Oh, now, Officer O'Hara. Now, you be going now. It's nice meeting you. I'll get together with you sometime and talk about your play.
Oh, I'm not leaving now, Mr. Brewster.
Why not?
Well, you just offered to help me write my play, didn't you?
Oh, but I...
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. Me and you're gonna write my play together.
I can't do that. I'm not a creative writer.
I'll do the creating. You just put the words to it.
But O'Hara, please.
No, sir, Mr. Brewster. I ain't leaving this house till I tell you the plot.
In my case, Mortimer, we'll be running along. Don't try that. You can't leave yet. You can't leave until you've taken everything with you. No, Officer O'Hara, my brother's just going.
But, Mr. Brewster, I can wait. I've been waiting 12 years.
Oh, I'm sorry I was so long.
Oh, don't bring that in here. Now, look, Officer O'Hara, would you join us go back in the kitchen?
The kitchen? Jonathan's leaving. Oh, well, isn't that nice? All right, come, Officer O'Hara. I'm sure you don't mind eating in the kitchen, Mr. O'Hara.
Oh, where else would you eat?
Oh, goodbye. Nice to have seen you again.
I'm glad you came back to Brooklyn, Jonathan, because it gives me a chance to throw you out. The first one off your boy, my Mr. Spinoza.
Look, Mr. Brewster, you're talking here.
No, I'll be coming right down.
I didn't know you'd grow up to write a play with a policeman.
Get going now, all 3 of you.
Doctor, this affair between my brother and me has got to be settled.
Now, Johnny, we got enough trouble. But your brother, he gives us a chance to get away. What more could you ask for?
You don't understand, Doctor. This goes back a good many years.
Now, Johnny, let's get going.
Doctor! You know I make up my mind.
Yeah, when you make up your mind, you lose your head. Brooklyn ain't a good place for you, Johnny.
Doctor!
All right, we stick together. When we're gonna come back, we gotta take these with us.
Now leave them here. Let them in the cellar. Move fast. Then else I can go out the same way it came in.
Johnny, come quick, come quick.
What's the matter?
You know that hole down in the cellar?
Yes.
We got an ace in the hole. Come quick, I show you, come.
Jonathan! Jonathan! Jonathan, where are you? Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
I thought I told you to get going.
I'm going.
Oh, you're not, are you? If you want O'Hara to know us in the window seat.
We're staying here.
Oh, you don't think I'm serious about this, do you? Well, oh good. This gets rid of you and Officer O'Hara at the same time. Officer O'Hara, will you come in here a minute? Tell O'Hara what's in the window seat. I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be quite dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
Well, what's he doing down in the cellar?
No thanks, man. I've got plenty they will find.
Now, what are you going to tell Officer O'Hara?
Say, Mr. Brewster, your ants want to get a plot too. Shall I get them in here for you? Oh, no, Officer Harry, you've got to ring in. But, Mr. Brewster, the hell, bring it in. I'll get you in here and I'll tell you the plot. Oh, no, not in front of all these people. We'll get alone someplace later. Okay, how about the back room at Kelly's? That'll be fine. I'll meet you in the back room at Kelly's, but you got to ring in.
Hey, why don't you two go down in the cellar?
Oh, the cellar? That sounds like a fine idea. Is this a cellar? No, Officer O'Hara. Now, I'll meet you at the back room at Kelly's, but you got to ring in on the way. All right, but that'll only take a couple minutes. Now, look, I'll ditch this guy and be back in 5 minutes. I expect to find you gone. No, wait for me.
Oh, we'll wait for him, Doctor. Waited a good many years for a chance like this.
Oh, we got him right where we wanted. Did he look guilty?
Take the bags back up to our room, Doctor.
My God. Oh, we thought we heard somebody leave.
Just Mortimer, and he'll be back in a few minutes. Is there any food left in the kitchen? I think Dr. Einstein there would enjoy a bite.
But you won't have time. No, if you're still here when Mortimer gets back, he won't like it.
Oh, he'll like it. He's going to like it.
Get us something to eat while we bury Mr. Spinoza in the cellar.
Oh, no! You can't stay in our cellar. No, Jonathan, you've got to take him with you.
There's a friend of Mortimer's downstairs waiting for him.
A friend of Mortimer's.
Oh, they'll get along just fine. They're both dead.
He must mean Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins?
You know about what's down in the cellar?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
You're a gentleman.
And we will have no strangers buried in our cellar.
Mr. Hoskins.
Mr. Hoskins is not a stranger. Besides, there's no room for Mr. Spinoza. The cellar's crowded already.
Crowded? With what?
There are 12 graves down there now.
12 graves?
That leaves very little room and we are going to need it.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered?
Certainly not. It's one of our charities. What we've been doing is a mercy. So you just take your Mr. Spinoza out of here.
You've done that here in this house and buried them down there?
Johnny. We've been chased all over the world. Well, they stay right here in Brooklyn and do just as good as you do.
What?
They got well and you got well.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, you got well.
13. Mr. Spinoza. First one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix?
The filling station. The 3 in Chicago, and 1 in South Bend. Makes 13.
But you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
When the guy come on you if I hadn't shot him.
No, Johnny, you got well.
Got 13.
No, Johnny, you got well. The ladies are just as good as you are.
Here they are. That's easily taken care of. All we need is 1 more. That's all, just 1 more.
Well, here I am.
I don't know, but I suppose he's doing something. Because he told Mortimer. He told Jonathan, you just wait, I'll settle this. Well, he can't very well settle it while he's out of the house. Well, that's all we want to settle. What's going on down there?
All right now, where's Teddy?
Oh, well, where have you been?
Oh, I've been over to Dr. Gilchrist. I got his signature on Teddy's commitment papers.
Oh, Mortimer, what's the matter with you? Now getting papers signed at a time like this? Do you know what Jonathan is doing? He's putting Mr. Hopkins and Mr. Fernaldez out together.
Oh, is he? Well, let him. Is Teddy up in his room?
Oh, Teddy won't be of any help.
Oh, once I can get him to sign these, then I can tackle Jonathan.
What have they got to do with it?
Well, you had to go and tell Jonathan about the 12 bodies in the cellar. If I can make Teddy responsible for those, then I can protect you, don't you see?
No, I don't see. And we pay taxes down the police protection.
I'll be down in a minute. Oh, no, you can't go for the police.
Why can't we?
Because if you tell them about Mr. Spinozzo, then they find Mr. Hoskins too. And then they might get curious, and they'd find him out to your 12 other gentlemen.
Mortimer, we know the police better than you do. I don't think they'd try into our private affairs if we ask them not to.
Well, you can't count on that, you know. They found your other 12 gentlemen, then they have to report to headquarters.
Oh, I'm not so sure they'd bother. They'd have to make out a very long report. And if there's one thing a police officer hates to do, it's to write.
No, it might leak out, and you couldn't expect the judge and jury to understand.
Oh, Judge Coleman would. We know him very well. He always comes to church to pray just before election. He's going to get a key someday, he promised. Oh, Abby, we must speak to him about that again. His wife died a few years ago, and it's left him very lonely. Well, come along, Mark.
No, I won't let you leave this house, and you can't have Judge Coleman to tea.
Well, if you're not going to do something about Mr. Spinozzo, we
But
are.
I am going to do something. We may have to call the police in later, but if we do, I want to be ready for them.
You've got to get Jonathan out of this house. And Mr. Spinozzo, too.
Would you please let me do this my own way? Now, where's Teddy?
If they're not out of here by morning, Mortimer, we're going for the police.
They'll be out. You can count on that. Now go to bed, would you? And for goodness sake, get out those clothes. You look like Judith Anderson.
Well, Abby, that's a relief, isn't it? Yes, Mortimer's finally going to do something at last. It just means Jonathan's going to a lot of unnecessary trouble. We better tell him. Oh, Michael, stop what you're doing.
It's all done. Did I hear Mortimer?
Well, it will just have to be outdone. You're all going to be out of this house by morning. Mortimer's promise.
Oh, we are? Well, in that case, you and Aunt Martha can go to bed and have a pleasant night's sleep.
Yes, come, Abby.
Good night, Aunties.
No, good night, Jonathan. Goodbye. By the time we're up, we'll be out of this house. Mortimer's promise. And he has a way of doing it, too.
Mortimer's back.
Yes, he's up here talking with Teddy. Goodbye, Jonathan. Goodbye, Jonathan.
Perhaps we better say goodbye to Mortimer.
Oh, you'll see, Mortimer.
Yes, I'll see Mortimer.
Well, that's all fixed up. It's smooth like a lake. You know, nobody ever knew we were down there. That bed feels good already. It's been 48 hours since we slept last. Well, come along, Johnny. Let's go to bed, eh?
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother Mortimer.
Oh, that Johnny. Oh, we do that tomorrow. Or is it next day?
No! Tonight! Now!
Johnny, tomorrow I got holiday.
Yes, you're going to operate tomorrow, Doctor. Tonight we take care of Mortimer.
Johnny, please. Tonight we sleep, eh?
Doctor, look at me. See, it's going to be done, can't you?
Look, Johnny, I can see. I know that look.
It's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
Okay, we do it. But the quick way, the quick twist, like a lot.
No, Doctor. I think this calls for something special. I think perhaps the Melbourne method.
No, Johnny, not that. It takes 2 hours. When it was all over, but the fellow with London was just as dead as the fellow with Melbourne.
We had to work too fast in London. There's no aesthetic satisfaction in it. But Melbourne, there was something to remember.
Remember? Oh, I wish I didn't. No, Johnny, not Melbourne, not me.
Oh yes, Doctor, where are your instruments?
I won't do it, Johnny. I won't do it.
Get your instruments!
No, Johnny.
Doctor, where are they? Oh yes, you hid them in the cellar. Where?
I won't tell you.
I'll find them, Doctor!
No, don't do that, Mr. President. I will not sign any proclamation without consulting my cabinet. This must be a secret. A secret proclamation. How unusual. Yes, Japan mustn't know until it's signed. Japan! Those yellow devils! I'll sign it right away. You have my word for it. I can let the cabinet know later. Yes, but let's go and sign it. You wait here. Secret proclamation has to be signed in secret. But at once, Mr. President, I'll have to put on my signing clothes.
You go now, eh? You go now, please.
No, Doctor, I'm waiting for something important.
Please, you go now.
Dr. Einstein, I have nothing against you personally. You seem to be a rather nice fellow, but I'm warning you, you get out of this house and get just as far away as possible.
Trouble, yeah, get out.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
I'm warning you, get away quick.
Things aren't going to, things are going to start popping around here any minute.
Listen, Johnny's in a bad mood, and when he's like this, he's a madman. Things happen.
Jonathan doesn't bother me now.
Oh, Himmel! Don't those plays you see teach you anything?
About what?
Well, at least the people in those plays have got sense, and that's a lot more than you do.
Oh, so you think people in plays act intelligently, do you? You think people in plays act like they've got sense? Well, I wish you had to sit through some of the ones I've had to sit through. Take the little opus I saw tonight, for instance. There's this fellow, and he's supposed to be right. He knows he's in a house of murderers, but does he go? No! He's even been warned to get out of the house. Can I ask you, Doctor, is that what an intelligent person would do?
You're asking me?
He doesn't even have enough sense to be frightened, to be on guard. For instance, the murderer even asks him to sit down.
You mean like, won't you sit down?
Oh, believe it or not, that one was in there too.
And, what did he do?
He sat down, of course. No, I ask you, Doctor, this is supposed to be a bright man. He just sits there waiting to be trussed up. Oh, and do you know what they used to tie him with?
What?
The curtain cord.
Curtain cord, well, why not? It's a very good idea, very convenient.
A little too convenient. When are these playwrights going to use their imagination? The curtain cord. Oh.
And, he didn't see him get it?
Oh, see him? He sat right there with his back to him. Now, Doctor, this is what I have to sit through night after night. And they say that the critics are killing the theater. It's the playwrights that are killing the theater, I tell you. And he just sat there, at the big dope, waiting to be trussed up and died. What? What are you doing?
Well, you're right about that fella. He wasn't very bright.
Mortimer, if you don't mind, we'll finish the story. Been away for 20 years, but never once in all that time were you out of my mind. No more than one night I dreamed of you. In San Francisco, built a strange satisfaction. Once while I was in the same country with you. Now, Doctor, go to work.
Now, please, Johnny, secret way.
Doctor, this must really be an artistic achievement. After all, we're performing before a very distinguished critic.
Oh, Johnny!
Doctor?
Oh, all right. Let's get it over with. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all ready for you, Doctor.
Johnny, I gotta have a drink. I can't do this without a drink.
Doctor, pull yourself together.
Oh, Johnny, I gotta have a drink. Now, when we first came in here, there was drinks here. Now, where did they put it? That's all it is. I dare you.
back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear, dead brother. He goes next, that's all.
Oh, Johnny, Teddy, that's where I stop. Not Teddy.
We get to Teddy later.
We don't get him at all.
Now we have to work fast.
Oh, yeah, Johnny, the quick way.
Yes, doctor. Quick way.
Hey, the kennel's got blowing that on.
It's all right, officer. We're taking the bugle away from him.
Well, that's gonna be hell of a pain in the morning. You promised the Navy, so you wouldn't do that anymore, see?
It won't happen again, officer. Good night.
Well, I better speak to him myself. Where are the lights? Hey, you stood me up. I waited an hour at Kelly's for you. What happened to him?
Yeah, he was explaining a play he saw. That's what happened to a fella in the play.
Is that what happened in the play you saw tonight? Gee, they practically stole that from the second act of my play. Why in my play? Oh, no, I better begin at the beginning. It opens in my mother's dressing room, see? Where I was born. Only I ain't born. I'm ready. What? I'm ready. No, you got to hear the plot. Oh! That's my mother, see? She's sitting there making up. Okay. In through the door comes a man with a black mustache. He turns to my mother and says, Miss Latour, will you marry me? He doesn't know she's pregnant. You are, see? Yeah, exactly. The place, the place is in the middle of flames. It's on fire. And suddenly, into the window comes Mayor LaGuardia. Hey, go easy on it. Go easy on it, will ya? Now you paid for it.
I'm listening, I.
Well, how do you like it so far?
Well, for Johnny the street.
If you got no more interest in that, you don't get a drink. All right. It's 3 days later. I've been transferred, and that's only because somebody stole my badge. So there I am, walking my beat on Staten Island, 46th precinct. When the guy I'm following, it turns out, is really following me. Don't let anybody in. So I figure it's all smart. I see a vacant house in the corner, and I goes in. All right, I stand in the dark, and I see the door handle turn. I pulls my gun, braces myself against the wall, and says, "Come in." What the hell is going on here? What do you know? This here's Mortimer Brewster. I was helping him write my play.
You got the pipe up to make him listen?
Joe, you better report it at the station. The whole force is out looking for you. Did they send you here to find me?
We didn't know you was here.
We came to warn your ladies that that's hell to pay. The colonel blew that bugle again in the middle of the night.
From the way the neighbors have been calling about it, you think the Germans have dropped the bomb on Flatbush Avenue?
The lieutenant's on a warpath. He says the colonel's got to be put away.
Oh, yes!
Mr. Brewster.
No!
I gotta get away, so I'll run through the third act real quick.
Get away from me! Say, you know what I missed? It's after 8 o'clock in the morning.
It is? Well, geez, those first two acts run a little long, but I don't see there's anything we can leave out.
You can leave it all out!
Who the hell is this guy?
He's my brother.
came back. Yes, he came back. This is Brophy. Get me Mac. Better let him know we found you, Joe. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We got him. In the Brewster house. You want us to bring him in? All right, we'll hold him here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? Suppose you and that school pitcher brother of mine will split the reward. Reward? No, I'll do some turning in. Think those handsome and sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? There are 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Hey! What the hell are you talking about?
You better be careful what you're saying about your hands.
I'll show you.
Happen to be friends of ours.
I'll prove it to you. 13 bodies. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Oh, yeah. I want to see what's down in the cellar.
Go on down in the cellar with him, Abe.
I'm not so sure I want to be down in the cellar with him. He looks like Boris Karloff.
In the hell are you men doing here? I told you I was gonna handle this.
Also, we was just about to...
What happened? Did he put up a fight?
This ain't the guy that blows a bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill Clyde.
All I said is he looked like Boris Karloff.
Is that over?
We gotta think he's wanted somewhere.
Oh, you kind of think he's wanted somewhere? You guys don't look at the circulars being named for the station. At least you can read True Detective. Certainly he's wanted. In Indiana, escaped from the prison for the criminal insane. He's a lifer. For God's sake, that's how they described him. He looked like Karloff.
Is there a reward mentioned?
Yeah, I'm claiming it.
He was trying to get us down to the cellar.
He said there was 13 bodies buried down there.
13 bodies in the cellar, and that didn't tip you off he came out of a nut house?
I thought old Bonnie's talking kind of crazy.
Oh, it's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night? And you needn't bother to tell me.
I've been right here, sir. Writing my play with Mortimer, Brewster.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have plenty of time to write that play. Yes, suspended! Now get back before the
Can I come over sometime and use the station typewriter?
No! Get out of here! Take that guy somewhere else and bring him through. See what you can find out about his accomplice who will help him escape. No wonder Brooklyn's in the shape it's in. With a police muscle, flat heads like you, falling for that kind of story. 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
I'm President Roosevelt.
What the hell is this?
He's a fellow that blows the bugle.
Good morning, Colonel.
Well, Colonel, you blow your last bugle.
Dear me, another yellow fever victim.
What?
All the bodies in the cellar are yellow fever victims. No, Colonel, this is a spy we have in the White House.
Will you get that guy out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
Will you keep out of this?
You're forgetting. As president, I am also head of the Secret Service.
Lieutenant, I'm here and I'm Mortimer Brewster.
Are you sure?
Yes, I just came down to talk to you about my brother Teddy, the one who blows the bugle.
Mr. Brewster, we ain't gonna talk about that. He's gotta be put away.
Oh yes, I quite agree with you. In fact, I just went over to Dr. Gilchrist today to get his signature on Teddy's commitment papers. He signed it himself, but I signed his next of kin.
Where's he going?
Happydale.
All right, I don't care where he goes as long as he goes.
Oh yes, Lieutenant, everything's taken care of. But I want you to know that everything that's happened around here, Teddy's responsible for. Now those 13 bodies in the cellar,
Yeah, those 13 bodies in the cellar. It ain't enough that all the neighbors are afraid of him. He's disturbing the peace with that bugle. Can you imagine what would happen if a cockeyed story about 13 bodies in the cellar got around? And that was suddenly yellow fever scare?
Oh, 13 bodies buried in the cellar. Who would believe that story?
You can't tell. Some people are just dumb enough. You don't know what to believe sometimes. time, about a year ago. Crazy guy. Starts a rental rumor over at Greenway. And I had to dig up a half-acre lot. Just to prove that he wasn't.
Will you excuse me? Oh, hello.
Good morning, Mortimer. This is Mr. Witherspoon. He's come to meet Teddy.
To meet Teddy?
Mr. Witherspoon is the superintendent of Happy Day.
Oh, come right in. This is Captain Lieutenant. Oh,
Rooney.
okay.
I'm glad you're here, Cooper, because you're taking him back with you today.
Today,
Not today.
Now look, Elaine, I've got a lot of work to do, so I need you to run along home.
Nuts.
All I'm going to do is just some meetings. The papers are all signed. He goes to date.
Yes, now.
Complete insubordination! You men will find out I'm no mollycoddle! When the President of the United States is treated like that, what's this country coming to?
Will you excuse me? Mr. President, I have some excellent news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th?
Practically.
Well, let's see. Oh! Now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Well, I must start immediately. Is he trying to move into the White House before I moved out?
Oh, Teddy.
Taft!
Oh, no. That isn't Taft. That's Mr. Witherspoon. He's your guide on the hunting trip to Africa.
Bully, bully! I'll bring down my equipment. When the safari comes, tell them to wait. Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha. I'm on my way to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? George!
Good morning, darlings.
Oh, we have visitors.
Yes, this is Lieutenant Rooney.
Oh, how do you do, Lieutenant? My, you don't look like the fuss budget the policemen say you are.
Oh, no. Why the lieutenant is here? You know, Teddy blew his bugle again last night.
Oh, yes, we're going to speak to Teddy about that.
It's a little more serious than that, Miss Bruce.
And this is Mr. Witherspoon. He's the superintendent of Happydale.
Oh, Mr. Witherspoon, how do you do? You've come to meet Teddy.
He's come to take him.
Aunties, the police want Teddy go there today.
Oh, no, not while we're alive.
I'm sorry, Miss Brewster, but it has to be done. The papers are all signed and he's going along with the superintendent.
We won't permit it. We'll promise to take the bugle away from him. We won't be separated from Teddy.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law's the law. He's committed himself and he's going.
When he goes, we're going too. Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Why not?
Well, we didn't want to, but it's impossible. You see, we just can't take sick people in Africa.
Mr. Witherspoon, if you'll let us live there with Teddy, we'll see that Happy Day is on our will, and for a very generous amount.
Well, the Lord knows we need the money, but I'm afraid.
Now, let's be sensible about this, ladies. For instance, here I am, wasting my morning when I got important work to do. You know there are still murders. You saw the book.
Yes. Oh, are there?
It ain't no little bugle blowing in that all the neighbors are afraid of them. But things will just get worse. Sooner or later, we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, your nephew's been telling around there's 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in our cellar. If that's why you think Teddy has to go away, why you come down to the cellar with us and we'll prove it to him. There's one, Mr. Spinoza, who doesn't belong here to an but the other 12 are our children.
I don't think that the lieutenant wants to go down to the cellar. You see, he was just telling me that last year he had to dig up a whole half-acre lot. Weren't you, Lieutenant?
That's right.
Oh, you wouldn't have to dig here. The graves are all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Superintendent, don't you think you can find room for these ladies?
You come along with us and we'll show you the graves.
I'll take your word for it, lady. I'm a busy man. How about it, Super?
They'll have to be committed.
Oh, Teddy committed himself. Can't they commit themselves?
I certainly.
Oh, well, if we can go with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they? Yes, where are they?
He's coming around, Lieutenant.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Klein. Good morning, Mr. Klein. Are you here too?
Yeah, Ruby, he had the other nephew out back in the kitchen.
Sign him up, Super. Now I get this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
If you'll just sign here.
Oh, and you here, Aunt Abby.
Well, I'm really looking forward to going. The neighborhood here has changed so. Just think, the front lawn again.
How
Dr. Einstein, won't you come over here a minute and sign some papers?
Please, I must go.
Doctor, at one point last night, I thought the doctor was going to do some operating on me.
No.
Now come and sign the papers. Yes, sign right here.
Where are you leaving, Doctor?
I think I must go now.
Aren't you going to wait for Jonathan?
Oh, I don't think we're going to the same place.
Hello, Lane. How are you doing? Stick around, would you? I'd like to have you stay.
Don't worry, I'm going to.
Hello, Matt. Brody. We picked up that guy wanted in Indiana. Yeah, there's a description of his accomplice. It's on the desk today. Read it to me. Yeah, about 54. 5'6". 120 pounds. Blue eyes. Talks with a German accent, posted as a doctor. Thanks, Matt.
So, okay, Lieutenant, the doctor has just completed the signatures.
Thanks, Doc. You're really doing Brooklyn a service.
Now, Mr. Brewster, if you'll just sign here next to me.
Of course, right here.
That's fine.
Now this makes everything complete, everything legal.
Yes.
Now you're safe, Mantis.
Well, Mr. Witherspoon, why don't you go upstairs and he'll tell you just when he can take along.
Upstairs?
Yes, I'll show you.
Oh, no, Mortimer, you will stay here. We want to talk to you. Oh, yes, Mr. Witherspoon, just upstairs and turn to the left. Well, Mortimer, now that we're moving, this house really is yours. Yes, we want you to live here now.
I really couldn't. This house is too full of memories.
When you and Elaine are married.
Darling, this is very indefinite.
It's nothing of the kind. We're going to be married right away.
Oh, Mortimer. Mortimer, we're really very worried about something.
Oh, don't worry, darlings. You'll love it at Happydale.
Oh, that's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong. Will they investigate those signatures?
Oh, don't worry. They won't find out about Dr. Einstein.
It's not his signature, dear. It's yours.
Mine?
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Why not?
Well, it's something we've never wanted to tell you. But now you're a man, and it really is something Elaine should know, too. You see, dear, you're not really a Brewster. Your mother came to us as a cook, and you were born about 3 months afterward. But she was such a sweet woman and such a good cook, we didn't want to lose her, so brother married her.
I'm not really a Brewster.
Oh, now don't feel badly about it, dear. It won't make any difference to you, Elaine.
Elaine, do you know what this means? Do you understand? I'm a bastard!
I really must see about breakfast.
All of us have been over to my house. Father's got real little Mortimer and I are going to have breakfast together.
Yes, I need some coffee. I've had quite a night.
Well, in that case, I should think you'd want to go to bed.
I do.
One moment, Witherspoon. Take this with you.
We won't need the wagon. My car's out front.
You leaving now, Jonathan?
Yep, he's going back to Indiana. There's some people there that want to take care of him for the rest of his life. Come
Well,
on.
Jonathan, it's nice to know you have some place to go. Oh, yes, we're going to Happydale.
Sounds like seeing the last of the Brewsters.
Unless Mortimer wants to live here.
I have a suggestion to make. Why don't you turn this property over to the church?
Oh, well, we never thought of that.
After all, it should be part of the cemetery.
Goodbye, aunties.
Well, I can't better my record, but neither can you. At least I have that satisfaction. Score stands even, 12 to 12.
Jonathan always was a weak boy. Never could stand to let anybody give a tenner. Shelby is so smart. Oh, Mr. Witherspoon. Does your family live with you in Happydale?
I have no family.
Oh, well, I suppose you consider everybody at Happydale your family.
I don't think you quite understand. As head of the institution, I have to keep quite aloof.
Oh, that must make it very lonely for you.
It does, but my duty is my duty.
Well, Martha, if Mr. Witherspoon won't join us for breakfast, I think at least we should offer him a glass of our elderberry wine. We make it ourselves.
For Happydale, our relationship would be more formal. But here you don't see much silvered wine nowadays. I thought I'd have my last glass of it.
Oh, no, here it is.